My wife says I need more physical exercise. Well, fortunately, I live here. Easiest thing in the world.
Because seriously, who would want to jog on a treadmill for half an hour staring at a blank wall when you can have this? I mean, just look at the place.
Now, last time I was up here, there were some beehives, and I'm just wondering if they're still there. I hope so. So, if I remember, they were somewhere up here on the right, on this dark path. Ah, here it is. There we go. Well, the beehives themselves are here, but I don't actually see any bees. Well, it's disappointing. This kind of all looks very abandoned. I mean, the sign is still there, welcoming people to take a look, as long as they don't vandalise the place or steal the bees, and a warning about the fact that bees sting, but there aren't any bees. So just to show that at least in our garden there's no shortage of bees. Okay, well, never mind. I'll just have a look at their website when I get back home. Maybe there's something on there.
Let's see. Huh. So, website's not there.
Now, recently I haven't been making as many videos as I'd like to, and not as many videos as I usually do, and I thought I should probably address that. I'm not burned out, and I still love making videos, I just haven't been able to.
And one of the issues that I've been facing recently is, without wanting to go into any detail, because this is kind of personal, but life generally has got in the way of me being able to make the kind of videos that I really want to make. It's fine, okay, everything's fine in my life, it's just that there are things that I've had to take care of. The problem is, though, that sort of sitting at home, scouring the internet and particularly the news for things to say and make videos about while I sit in front of my desk, I tend to find all the negative stuff, and there's an awful lot of it about, whether it's the effects of the war in Ukraine, the problems facing the transport infrastructure, the rising support for the extreme right, the extreme left now getting restless and starting to throw things at the police, and all of that stuff. And at some point, as much as I want to be able to explain what's going on, I also feel that sometimes it's just all too much bad stuff, and I want to do some of the good stuff. It's just really difficult to find. But that's not to say that it isn't there. It most definitely is. And look, let me just tell you why it is that I am so glad to be alive right now.
I'm old enough to have lived through quite a lot of difficult times, even environmental disasters like acid rain and the hole in the ozone layer. But I live a privileged life in a rich country. We're in the middle of the most profound and exciting period of innovation and progress since the Industrial Revolution, and the next season of Doctor Who is to be broadcast later this year.
This is slightly depressing. It really ought to be a sort of a bustling shopping street. But an awful lot of these shops have just closed down, and the ones that are open are not really the ones for sort of everyday shopping needs. They all go to the big supermarkets. I'm not sure whether we have to accept this as just, the modern way, or if maybe regeneration of rural areas involves putting things back well, not exactly the way they were, but making these places more attractive, places where you can quite happily live and even work. I mean, these days you can work from home quite easily and just have all of your daily needs met right on your doorstep.
Granted, not everything new is wonderful, but times change and we change with them. Meanwhile, I have all of Germany to show you.
Let's go to town.
It's a fantastic and surprisingly diverse country, and I'm still working on how best to convey that. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's all fascinating.
Now, this is an example of a modern building which takes some note of its surroundings and actually blends in quite well.
Well, I'm glad I live in Germany, and I will be exploring more of it in the months and years to come. That I can promise you.
So, is Germany perfect? Well, no, but then it never could be. Nowhere can be perfect. That is a theoretical state that we can never actually achieve, but we can and we should work towards it. And this is the thing, if we ever were to achieve perfection, then that would be it. There would be no more progress, nothing left to do. And that is the point at which life would end. So it's good that we have something to work towards. And I've got to be honest, here in Germany, things are pretty good, more or less on the right track. The one thing that I would ask of my fellow Germans, and I can call you my fellow Germans because I am now a German, is that when we identify areas that need improvement, let's do so positively. We don't need to go through all this constant complaining and saying that we are the worst ever and everything is a national embarrassment. No, let's just see what we can do and then go ahead and do it. And also, let's give ourselves permission to enjoy what we already have, and yes, even to congratulate ourselves on the progress that we have already made, and then resolve to do more.